Hi, so welcome back to Real Auto Reports right here from a sunny Real Auto Ranch here in Colorado. I'm Jonathan McGrew, and today we have the real first impressions video on this 2014 BMW 235i, but it is the M edition. Yes, the M with all of that power and performance, and we're going to tell you all about it from a first impressions perspective. So let's jump in. So from the front, what you're going to find is, well, the continuation of the BMW brand being pulled through all of these models. The 2 Series, which used to be the 1 Series when it first was introduced into the States here, and remember, it's a car that's been available abroad for a little longer than we've seen it. It shows the same characteristics as the 3 and 4 Series. So the new 4 Series Coupe, you'll see these same kind of eyebrows coming out over top here. But everything about this 2 Series is a little bit more compact and a little bit more reserved. You see a little bit less sculpting on this 2 Series than you would on its larger brother, the 4 Series. So notice here though with the M Sport we have all of the ground effects package and all of the sculpting in the lower bumper. Of course you have your kidney shaped grills here that are quintessential to the BMW brand, your badge here where you would expect it, but you're not going to find any park assist up front, headlight washers, not in this package as we have it here. This is about as plain an M as you can get from BMW because it is pretty much the base model with only the upcharge for the red here, that is a metallic finish, and for the leather interior that you see inside. So really there's only about $2,000 worth of options on this car, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in our real video. But as you can see from the front, it's a good looking vehicle. It's got an aggressive nature, but you can see if you look carefully it's missing some of the higher end features on this particular package. But have no fear, you can get them, you just have to pay more. Let's go take a look at the side. All right, so from the side, you can see how compact this vehicle really is, but you can also see the attention to detail that BMW has put in the vehicle. Like all of their vehicles in the redesigns, they have this strong body line here that comes straight through the door handles. Now notice that nothing happens when I touch the door handle. This vehicle is, as I've mentioned, the lower model, so it does not have the comfort touch access on the door handles, but it does still have the push button start and the key fob. So you can't unlock the door just by having the key in your pocket, but you can get that as an upgrade option, but it is an add-on. Notice the black trim around the windows for the M here and the nice silver mirrors with the turn signal lights in the mirror, a nice feature there. You've got your M badging. Lovely sculpting down through the doors into the lower sill there, which is the ground effects that they add for the M. You have a nice wrapping taillight. There is BMW branding in here. The attention to detail in these BMWs is excellent. But notice how much smaller this vehicle looks in the current new 4 Series. If you go look at our 435i video with the X-Drive, you're going to see that it looks more elongated now than these 2 Series. Remember, it used to be the 1 Series, so the 2 Series in the new nomenclature from BMW. And also notice in the M, you get these lovely kind of graphite colored M wheels with the blue calipers, those quintessential and iconic blue calipers designating the M package. It is quite the looker from the side, and I think it's a nice tidy coupe. It's hard to find a vehicle with these proportions out on the market today, and you know, I think if you're in love with this vehicle, you're going to have a hard time cross-shopping it with something that doesn't look more like a liftback, or a fastback. This is a true 2-door coupe like the original 3 Series, and well, even before that in the 70s with the BMW brand, going all the way back to the 2002. If you had to look at this car and put your finger on it, I really think this is today's 2002. Let's go take a look at the back. All right, so from the back, you're going to notice that from the rear, it is really a nice, tidy package. I like this vehicle a lot. I think it comes together well. There's actually several levels of sculpting here. You can see 1 here, 2, 3, 4 down here on the bumper. There's a lot of detail put back here. And then you'll also notice how the tail light in this hard body line that I talked about that comes through the middle belt line of the car comes right around and becomes your main lip right here around the trunk lid. Then you have your lip spoiler, and of course all of these lines wrap around. Beautiful design in the back of these cars, more and more, because our sheet metal sculpting skills and our polymers and all of that have gotten better over the years. These cars, we've started to see more detail in them as time goes on, and BMW is one of the best in the business to give you a very just sculpted, artful type of vehicle to look at every day. And if you're paying $46,000 for one, you want that. Now notice you also have the twin exhausts down here, and then the lower kind of graphite black down here in the bottom of the bumper. Now the thing you're gonna miss from the back of this M235 is there is no rear camera standard. That is an option. You're going to pay about $550 to add it to get the rear camera, and this being pretty much the base model M235 does not have it. But it does have the lip spoiler, your high third brake light, and you do have the antenna for something. I'm guessing that the radio antenna is incorporated because this does not have satellite, it does not have the app suite, and really it just has an FM, AM, FM with a CD, so, and the aux port of course, so you do want to keep that in mind. It does have Bluetooth though, and you can sync your phone to it, so that's all well and good. And well, from the back, it's a pretty nice car. So let's go take a look at the inside and see how it looks from in there. Then we'll check out the engine under the hood and then take it for a spin. All right, so from the driver's seat here, because we have the M Edition, this is going to look very familiar to you because most of the BMWs we see here at Real Auto Reports have the M Sport package added to them, whether they're a full M or not. But this is a true M, so it has the M235i door sills down in the lower part here, and we'll show you a picture of that. Inside you have your M wheel with the 3 spokes, the paddle shifters. You have your display up on the dashboard, which is great, but because this is the lower end model, our first impression is we got in and we were like, oh, it's an M, it's going to be great. And then we realized it didn't have navigation, it doesn't have satellite radio, it doesn't have heated seats, it doesn't have heads-up display, it doesn't have rear view backup camera, and the list goes on. It does have memory seats though, and it does have automatic headlights, but again, it doesn't have the touch entry on the doors. That's because it really is a stripped M. It's about as stripped as you can get it, with the exception of the metallic paint and the leather option inside here. But you do have the adjustable bolsters in the M Sport seat, and the layout is exactly what you would expect from the inside of a BMW. Well thought out, and if you're used to it, it's going to be easy to get around. Now, you still kind of have to get used to the controls if you've never owned a BMW, but I think they've gotten more intuitive over the years, and from a first impression, it's tidy, it's well put together, it looks good, and it still feels like a BMW, and that's the key. You can definitely option it up and get all the options I was talking about. You just have to pay more, and that's, well, the way cars go. Let's take a look at what powers this bad boy up under the hood. It is quite the motor and quite the performer. So let's go check it out. All right, so under the hood, what you have here is the M Performance motor. It's going to be badged that way with this lovely plastic housing that covers up your 6-cylinder motor here. So this inline 6 is going to, well, put out 320 horsepower. That's pretty impressive because it is indeed a fast low car at 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. What's even more impressive is that they've crammed that 8-speed automatic transmission in here, and that will allow you to actually get better performance and better gas mileage than the manual transmission that is also available. It's about a 1/10 of a second quicker 0 to 60, 4.8, so 4.9 with the manual, and you'll see 22 miles per gallon in town and 32 out on the freeway, which is about a 4 mile per gallon better on the freeway with the automatic and about 3 miles per gallon better in town with the automatic as opposed to the manual transmission. And that just tells you how far technology has come. Those extra 2 gears really make a difference when all you can get in the manual is a 6-speed manual. And as I think of it, some cars have gone up to 7 speeds in the manuals, and gosh, I just don't know if I really want to drive a Mack truck and be shifting through 8 speeds in a manual transmission. It's even hard to fathom. So this, with the paddle shifters and the automatic transmission, well, gives you the best performance, the best comfort, and, well, the best fuel economy. So I guess the manual transmissions really are for us diehards who love to drive them. I would still take the manual transmission myself, but the automatic is certainly nice to drive and very quick. I like this vehicle a lot, and I like the performance that comes out of these engines. So, well, the next thing we gotta do is shut the hood and take it for a spin and see how it drives out on the road. All right, so from the driver's seat here, hitting the road in this 2014 BMW M235. This is quite the vehicle, and from a first impressions, the thing you're going to notice the most is how much power this car has from the immediate application of the accelerator. Just like this, it is quite incredible. Now, it does have a little bit of lag in there, and that's to be expected given the way that this inline 6-cylinder is set up. But being M-powered, it definitely won't disappoint, and you will need the traction control in most instances to keep the rear tires planted to the road. It is a rear-wheel drive car. Everything else about it is it's got the nice crisp BMW steering that you would expect it to have. It has, I mean, it just has everything that is a BMW, the ultimate driving machine. From a first impressions, the only negative that I can really think to tell you right off the bat is that it is going to be a low-slung, fairly stiff suspension vehicle, but it does seem to soak up those bumps fairly well without rattling your teeth or your spine. And you do have the M seats here. Now, with the wheel and the setup and everything, you have what really is a nice driving experience, but we've got to tell you more in the real video, the real review. The thing you should know is that this thing is super quick. If you turn all the traction control off, it can bite you because it is so powerful, just like you would expect an M to be. And just because it's the smallest M they make and the least expensive does not mean that it's not worth owning. So we'll tell you more in our real video. Next is the wrap up for this real first impressions. So let's get to that. So that's the real first impressions video edition on this 2014 BMW 2 Series. This is the M edition, and it's going to set you back right about $46,000 as tested. That's the MSRP. And that seems pretty expensive for such a small little performance car. But keep in mind that if you're going to go up to the slightly larger 4 Series Coupe, remember all the Coupes are even numbers now in the BMW brand, you're going to be looking at a $60,000+ base price tag. So all of a sudden, this M is one of the cheapest you can buy, and it's a pretty cool and agile little car, and it actually has a lot of room when 2 6-foot-tall people can comfortably ride around in it. And yes, if you had to, you could use the back seat, but who are we kidding? This is really a personal coupe. And with fuel economy that sits right in about 25 miles per gallon combined, it's not bad for 320 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time in the automatic of 4.8 seconds. Not bad at all, and it'll really give you that nimble small car feel. And in a coupe that, well, the coupe kind of styling is really hard to find these days, especially in one as, well put together as these BMWs tend to be. We like this car a lot, but, well, we still got to test it some more. So we're going to do the real video coming up down the road, so make sure you come back and join us, and we'll see you down the road.